Alright, hey guys, welcome back. This is the Avengers Endgame spoiler review. So if you haven't watched Endgame yet, I do recommend that you don't watch this yet. I do have a non-spoiler review though, so if you want to watch that, it's just down below and enjoy. Come back after you see the movie. What to talk about first?
Like you said, just Hawkeye.
Start at the beginning. The film immediately starts with Hawkeye's whole family fading away after the snap.
I've honestly been waiting for this scene ever since last year, just because I knew it just seemed like the thing to do with, another one of these dad characters to just give him a motivation like his family, dying.
And that kind of sets him up for how his character arc goes for the rest of the film. He becomes a character Ronin, full out vigilante, like killing people, and his whole motivation and belief system is having to do with the fact that, these bad people survived the snap and they don't deserve to. If it was a thing that lasted the whole film, I don't know if I'd be okay with it, but I feel like it lasted just as long as it needed to.
Yeah, if he constantly had this moral dilemma, I feel like he would have been pulling a little too much attention to himself, at least in my opinion.
Okay, the fact that they went straight to Thanos at the very beginning of the film, I thought was crazy.
Yeah, right?
I don't know why, just the fact that they immediately did that, I thought there was going to be like this big build-up.
Yeah, I thought they weren't going to even find him until, like, the second act. Like, I thought the movie was going to be finding him and then fighting him and then trying to undo what he did.
Yeah, they quickly found him and then they killed him.
Yeah, he was just fucking dead.
The things that I thought were going to be plot points for the whole film, but ended up being, like, either talked about or resolved very quickly at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of that throughout the movie. I honestly don't think that many people could have predicted even 25% of what this plot ended up being.
It's like 5 years later, and there's like no hope in the world, like I was mentioning in the non-spoiler review.
Yeah, I remember she got turned to ash in Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh, there's no hope! On the subject of no hope, Scott, he was trapped in the quantum realm.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Segway.
Remy the mouse saved him. No, but seriously, a mouse went on top of the little keyboard whatever thing that they use to bring them in and out of the realm, and the mouse, without meaning to, ended up releasing Scott.
It's one of the few gimmies I have to throw the movie. It's like, you're seriously telling me that a mouse happened to push the exact right keys to turn on the shrinking machine and get him out of there?
True Avenger. He goes to find the Avengers, and at this point the Avengers are still kind of together. They're still united, but it's
pretty loose.
Yeah, they're like loosely on their own separate missions, but it looks like they have meetups, like on holograms.
It is literally the Watchtower from Justice League.
Yeah, it very much felt like that. The Watchtower from Justice League. I thought that was cool. And I also thought it was cool that Natasha had the helm for
right.
too.
Yeah, for once it's not just Steve doing everything.
Mm-hmm. They meet Hulk.
Oh my god,
help them.
I was not ready for this scene.
Yeah, dabbing Hulk.
Dabbing Hulk.
The Hulk dabs.
Made my night. Oh my god.
So yeah, at this point, there's no longer this duality between the two characters.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like taking the mind of Bruce and the body of Hulk.
Disney, you gotta figure out something with Universal, because this could have been a movie. Professor Hulk becoming a thing. Instead, we get a 5-year time jump. It's like, oh, yeah, I spent a year somewhere practicing this. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
I guess Iron Man was reluctant at first, and then he eventually came aboard to help them with time travel. And at this point, it's 5 years later for all of them, and he has a kid now with Pepper.
Laguna was so cute.
Yeah, she was precious.
Mm-hmm.
Love you 3,000.
Okay, that kept bothering me, because I could have sworn that she said 5,000. But then really? He kept saying 3,000 through the rest of the movie. I'm like...
So they are going by that, I guess, kind of Dragon Ball Z.
Actually, yeah, the multiverse thing that Dragon Ball Z did.
Yeah, where it's like, if you go back in time to fix some wrong that happened in the current time,
you'll just fix it for somebody else.
Yeah.
And then your future's still screwed.
Rocket and, Bruce, they go to recruit Thor. He's the one that killed Thanos, so after that, he kind of left everybody. That's what it comes off like.
Yeah, he went back to... New Asgard's a thing.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
After Ragnarok, I was really hoping that they would do this. We find out that Korg's alive.
Yeah, Korg.
I was really happy about that.
He's not just some pile of rocks in the corner in the opening of Infinity War.
So yeah, they go to find Korg and Meek playing Fortnite, which I was just like, oh my god. And
Topical.
they meet a very down in the dumps, overweight Thor.
Dabbing Hulk and Fat Thor. This was a movie, guys.
This is the end times.
We're in the end game now.
At this point, even though he's the one that killed Thanos, he's like still traumatized by him.
Yeah, because like one, it's his fault that he even got to snap, and then, you know what, I'm gonna go save the day, and there was just nothing he could do.
Yeah, at this point, Iron Man made a good joke that it totally makes sense. He just looks like the Big Lebowski now.
He does.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
At the same time, there is some ground to his character still.
Not like you can't take them seriously because he's fat. It's not like that at all. It's not like he's farting while he's crying or something. I don't know. I might have left the theater if that started happening.
They go back in time. Split up in the teams.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool
Which
that they were
was
like
cool.
mapping out where specifically they should go, just because, you know, they have one shot.
They're essentially popping up in different films. That's what it comes off like. And yeah, the first one is like the very end of Avengers where, you know, they kind of got Loki trapped.
Honestly, just loved seeing what happened immediately after the "I'll take that drink now."
Mm-hmm. Started bringing up things where it's like if you had seen that scene during that time, there'd be a lot of characters that come out of nowhere that you would have been like, who's that? But because you're a person who stuck around for all these movies, you get to see all these characters again. Like Robert Redford comes up and the Hydra Squad from Winter Soldier. They come to get the Tesseract.
Yeah, when Rumlow walked in, I was just like...
But then he meets his past self, which I thought was hilarious, too.
And they're in the same outfits, so...
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah. So it's literally like that Spider-Man meme where they're like pointing at each other. Loki gets away with the freaking Tesseract.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
I'm like, where does he go now?
I really want to know where he went.
You know how they're doing the Disney Plus thing?
Yeah.
He's getting a show. Like, maybe it's related to that.
He is?
Yeah, he's getting a show.
I didn't know that.
Just like, I think Scarlet Witch and Vision are getting a show, which is why I'm like, so Vision okay?
We find ourselves in Asgard, where Thor and Rocket go to get the ether out of Jane.
One thing I do think is cool that came out of it is the fact that he gets Mjolnir.
So, oh, yeah.
So now he has two. Now he has Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, which is fucking awesome.
Actually, I never even thought about it until he called Mjolnir, when he was like, I am still worthy. He's like, oh, that's another thing he's probably like, you know, penned up about. Then they had the idea to go back to the bunker that Steven came from to get both the Tesseract and more Pym particles, which I thought was really cool. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, I didn't think that of even doing that. I thought that was really creative because it wasn't even something that was talked about earlier. So when it does happen, you're like, oh. The thing that I loved about it that was like really subtle is the fact that Jarvis comes up.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
I watched the Agent Carter show when, you know, it was short-lived.
Was it the same actor?
Mm-hmm. That's the thing.
Awesome.
That's the thing I'm pointing out is that it's cool because he never made a cinematic universe appearance.
I really like that scene because it's both characters kind of like facing the decisions that they make at the end of the movie. Like, you have Tony talking to his dad. I think the last thing his dad says is how he hasn't even been born yet, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for my kid. And Tony, he dies to save his daughter and, you know, everybody. And then Cap, he sees Peggy again, and he realizes, hey, I'm doing all this time travel stuff. I can go back to where I left off.
Nebula and War Machine are in a group, and then Natasha and Clint are in a group. Right from the get-go, you know what's going to happen.
It's like, oh, hey, Black Widow and Hawkeye, we're going after the Soul Stone. Everything's going to be great.
Yeah, I automatically was just like, oh, okay, well, it's time to try to figure out who's it going to be.
I honestly thought it was going to be Hawkeye. Like, I thought that that's why he got the opening scene, was like, we're finally going to see Hawkeye die to bring his family back. Ironically, they end up having to make the same sacrifices that Thanos made.
Mm-hmm, which I thought was cool, which is why I like the whole, like, parallels and how it was literally filmed the exact same way, and how it had the same exact music as when Thanos was doing all these things.
Yeah.
All the more has like this parallel to it because when Thanos comes up, it's a past Thanos, so it's not the one that's gone through this stuff and knows what it takes and how much you have to lose to get to this point. No, this Thanos is like, he sees that he did it, but he doesn't know what it took.
Oh,
and so
I
because
win.
Yes, so because of that, he's like really arrogant.
Yeah, Nebula and Rhodey.
Yeah, they were the last ones. Thanos and Gamora and past Nebula all found out about our Nebula because some frequency that they're both on in their head. Projection thing I get because in Infinity War it was showing footage of her talking to Gamora. So I get that. It was just the whole, because it's also her, she's able to also pick up her.
Why was not happening to everybody? It's like, ah!
But yeah, because of that, they were able to see not only that Nebula was there, but also what the plan was. Now Thanos knows about it, and he sent Nebula off as the past Nebula, where she's still trying to prove herself and is just bowing down to her dad and everything.
Which made an opportunity for, like, really great character moment of Nebula literally facing herself, seeing her past, and trying to convince her that, you know, things can change, things can be better, you can be better, but Thanos was just too deeply ingrained in her head.
Point, they got all the stones, but they realized Natasha gave her life after like shortly mourning her in comparison to the big death.
They had a time crunch.
I know, but
you know, it's not like they didn't bring her up again. I like how Hulk mentioned later on that when he snapped the glove, he tried to bring her back.
Okay, so at this point, yeah, going with what you were saying about the Hulk, they managed to kind of reconstruct a new gauntlet, essentially.
Just crazy. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, it's actually a lot cooler, too, because it's basically like Iron Man armor.
The nanite thing.
They all kind of come to the conclusion that Hulk is the only one that can handle it, and even he kind of gets, like, really, like,
he's, like,
messed
jacked up, yeah.
Yeah. Past Nebula manages to bring past Thanos and Gamora to current time.
Well, but yeah, she took Nebula's thing, and then that's how she got to the future. But then how'd she bring the ship?
She hacked. Yeah! Hacker. Thanos gets there, kind of blows up the whole Avengers facility, and everybody split up.
Yeah, like, when she was hacking the time machine, I'm like, okay, and this is where Thanos comes out. No, he brings his whole ship. I'm like, oh.
Which I didn't expect. I thought, you know, it was going to be this dramatic, like, you just see, like, a step come into frame, and then it's like his whole body, but no, it's the whole freaking ship
with literally everyone on it.
Oh yeah, because at this point, you know, Ebony Maw and Proxima Midnight and the rest of the Order are still alive. Captain, Thor, and Iron Man, they kind of catch wind that, you know, Thanos is here now, and they go off to fight him, which is an awesome fight, by the way.
My God. I would have liked it better if Hulk was there, because, you know, that's like, you know, that's the power pack right there, but he was all jacked up and holding up a building with one arm and stuff, so...
Cap and Iron Man are, like, fighting for their lives, and, you know, it gets to the point where I actually thought one of them was gonna die. Like, when Thanos was, like, pushing in Stormbreaker, and it was, like, going in, like he was slicing through a cake, I was like, oh my God, what? And then the best part happens. I've been waiting for this since Age of Ultron, where that little nudge happened when Cap tried pulling up Mjolnir. In the third freaking act, he is wielding Mjolnir, and it is the most awesome thing ever.
The whole third act was nothing but fan service, and I did not care. I didn't care at all.
So yeah, at this point, it's literally just Cap standing, and he's like against a whole army of like Thanos and Black Order and all nameless goon aliens, I guess, on your left from Sam, which I was just like...
He got his justice.
I thought the cinematography of that scene was amazing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was really good. Get Cap freaking having Mjolnir come to him, but he says Avengers Assemble.
Oh my God.
Which I've also been waiting for.
That we finally earned that Avengers Assemble after 11 years.
So yeah, at this point, there's like literally an army of every character you can imagine that has ever been in the MCU against Thanos, the Black Order, and his army of people. There's so many cool moments in that. Also, Pepper as Rescue.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was cool. I've been waiting for her to be Rescue since Iron Man 3 because, you know, when she had that suit on, Captain Marvel did have her moment with Thanos where it seemed like she was going to be the one to fully kick his ass, but
then he pulled a cheap shot.
Yeah. Which, again, it's like, I kind of liked that because
It was cool.
Yeah, the way it went about, it made sense with what we know about her so far. She got, like, a little arrogant about it. She got a little cocky, and then he kind of, like, took her out.
Just decked her in the face.
Yeah. There was a huge homage, practically, to A-Force.
Yes.
Which was freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what A-Force is, a couple of years ago, in Marvel Comics, they made a group of, like, an all-female Avengers, essentially, and it's called A-Force. And there's a scene in the movie where it's, like, literally all the females just protecting Peter Parker, essentially, while he's running with the gauntlet. Because at this point in the movie, you know, there's this huge war going on with, like, both sides. But at the same time, you know, there's a character kind of passing on to the next, and then the next, holding the gauntlet, trying to get it to, you know, Scott and Hope. Oh yeah, the noteworthy part that I liked a lot, freaking Scarlet Witch.
Oh my god.
Sick. I just love that part 'cause she's like so pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, you know, it's the past Thanos, so he doesn't know who the hell she is. But I mean,
Doesn't matter.
Like she said, you're going to. And if it
She
wasn't
would've
for
won,
him,
man.
yeah, if it wasn't for him like wussing out and sending like all these like missiles towards them, yeah, she would have killed him. I'm pretty convinced of that. The big death of the movie wouldn't have had to happen. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get this gauntlet out of here. And it comes between Thanos and Iron Man trying to get the gauntlet. And Iron Man kind of pulls a switcheroo on him. And he ends
That
up...
was so awesome.
Yeah, which was cool. He ends up wielding the gauntlet. And then he snaps. Which kind of just looked like it got rid of specifically...
Yeah, like specifically Thanos and his people.
Yeah. The fact that Tony's human, it's like, you know, it killed him. And I just really like the way that they filmed that scene. It was, again, it was what I was referring to in the other video where they really had time. They really gave it time to, like, breathe, and they're really respectful about it.
Yeah, when he was lying there, all I was thinking was, you know, just don't cheapen this moment. Don't make him gasp for breath. Don't do the Hulk roar and then he wakes up. Don't, just let it go.
Iron Man died. You know, Tasha died. And Thor, he kind of leaves the new Asgard to Valkyrie and goes off with the Guardians, which is cool. Because I'm, like, excited for the new Guardians film because I'm hoping he's going to be in it.
I hope, because I remember I brought up the question, is he going to stay fat once? But I kind of hope that he, like, loses a bunch of weight, but he just still just has a gut.
So he goes off and does that. And as for Cap takes all the stones. They create a new, like, time machine, essentially. And he's the one that, like, solely goes to put all of them back to their rightful places. And they freak out, but then they see an old man at a bench, and it turns out it's Cap, and he decided to stay back in time with Peggy.
This is hands down my favorite scene in the whole movie, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that being said, it left room for, like, who's the new Captain America? Like, who's gonna take the helm? And he pretty much inherited it to Sam. So,
Yeah.
It seems like Sam's gonna be the new Captain America.
Something else I've been waiting for a while.
I was satisfied either way, but I was hoping it was either gonna be him or Bucky. Because,
Yeah, it was, you know, who else would it be besides the two of them?
because in the comics, both of them end up being Captain America at one point or another. Yeah. The movie is really good. If you hadn't watched our other video, I'm gonna give this an A.
And yeah, thinking about it since last week, I give it a solid 9 dabbing Hulks out of 10.
Hey kids, kids. At its very least, I see it as going down in history for superhero films, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be just the amount of money it made, or, you know, the bar that it's setting for any movies in the future that are comic book films. And then at the very most, I'd consider this movie a masterpiece.
It's certainly like a magnum opus from the Russos, I think.
Alright, well, thank you, Dylan, for being not only in the non-spoiler review, but in this one as well.
You're welcome.
So yeah, those are our thoughts on Avengers Endgame. If you have seen it yourself, have any views on where the MCU is going. What was your favorite part in this film? Just put it down in the comments below. If you liked this video, subscribe, and thanks for watching.